So hello! On this channel we talk about independent spirituality and folk magic for free spirits. My name is Aster, and in today's video I am answering another request from a subscriber. I believe that it was on the last post for a Q&A that I have published on the community tab. Somebody asked me to talk about my grimoire, to show my grimoire setup and everything, and I told them, yeah, this deserves an entire video only dedicated to that. And like, if you have been on the channel for a little while, you know that my grimoire is just a purple binder. I haven't gotten around to finishing the embroidery project that I have for it to like cover this entire thing, because embroidery takes a long time and I am a busy girl. But I just want to, you know, share some real life practice, real life situations here. Your grimoire, I mean, if you want to buy a leather-bound notebook, handmade and everything, girl, go ahead and do it. If it makes you happy, if you have the money, why not? Why not? Allow yourself, right? But I like to keep things practical, easy, and affordable. The easiest, the better. The important thing is that it works. That's what matters. So, this is my grimoire. I am going to go to the table to show a little bit better the details about it. Of course, I'm not gonna show everything, because grimoires are personal. There are many entries in here that have kind of a diary vibe, so you're not gonna see everything, but you will be able to see at least like the divisions that I have made and why and what's each part for. And by the way, speaking of grimoires, I do have a digital grimoire that I use all the time. I use it more than my physical one, which is a Notion. If you don't know Notion is an organization, like for you to get organized. It's an app and website for you to organize your day, your life, your studies, whatever it is that you're doing. You can create a template on Notion to help you with that. And I have a Notion template that I use as a grimoire, and you can get it on my store. We're gonna hear a little bit more about it in a minute, because having a digital grimoire like on the go on your phone is super practical, super useful. You don't I don't have to go around carrying this thing so I can write something down real quick. I can simply write it down on my Notion grimoire, and it saves me a lot of time and a lot of effort. So if you want to take a look at that, the link is going to be in the description down below. And yeah, let's go to the table so I can share my physical grimoire setup with you. Wait a minute. Before we start, let's take a minute to hear a word from today's sponsor, which is myself. Did you know that I have opened a store? Yeah, that's right. Over there you can find all my ebooks that contain some juicy bits of occult knowledge that I share, and you don't want to miss out on that. And also private readings that combine tarot and Lenormand cards, as you already know them, with some extra spice of Afro-Brazilian knowledge. But the best part is that the products on the store start at only $3. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, I'm also on Patreon. And over there, I share extra exclusive content like spell tutorials, behind the scenes of my life, exclusive Patreon videos, unfiltered book reviews, weekly readings, and much, much more for only 1 cup of coffee per month. So if you like what I do on the internet and would like to support my work somehow, check out the links in the description to take a look at everything that I offer. Now, with that being said, let's get back to the video. So we are over here on my table, and I am going to show you the content, not everything, but some parts of my grimoire. First of all, I'm gonna show you the infamous embroidery project that I have going for the cover of my grimoire, because as you already know, it is just a regular binder, but I've done this. This is actually a drawing that I saw as a tattoo, as a matter of fact, on Pinterest. I printed the drawing as it was and I transferred it on top of this little thing. I forgot how this is called, but this is specific for embroidery. When you have a fabric on top of which you can't really draw, you get your drawing on this and then you do the embroidery. Once you're finished, you just need to get the whole thing wet and the white part melts away, so only the embroidery stays on top of the fabric. And that's the case here because I have black velvet. It's not like you can draw on top of this kind of texture, so this melt away thing is very useful. I find this drawing is absolutely gorgeous and I need to finish it so I can put it on top of my grimoire. I think it's gonna look stunning with the white thread on top of the black velvet. Just wanted to mention it because it is something that I need to finish. I've been procrastinating it for months. But okay, let's take a look at the contents of my grimoire. So I have these dividers here that I used a Demo label maker. So we have here correspondences, spells, recipes, receitas in Portuguese, core, spirits and oils. And then on the other side, there's more stuff. I'm gonna show a little bit. So correspondences, I have, for example, the moon phases and the days of the week. To be honest, as you can see, I didn't use much this section of the grimoire, not yet at least, because I use my digital grimoire more often for that. If you didn't know, on my store you can get the Notion template of my grimoire. I have a grimoire on Notion. It is super useful, let me see if I can show you here. I have the app like Notion. So here's the Notion app on my phone, and then I have everything here: ancestor work, astrology, book annotations, and this is where I write down my correspondences. So I have by type, by property, you see. And on my shop, you can get this template and make it your own. It is so helpful. It is so handy in day-to-day life because I can't have this massive binder on my pocket on a daily basis and on the go. So having a version of my grimoire on my phone like this is really very useful. Then here I have a few spells. This one, for example, I have copied from the book Moon Spells that I have a review over here on the channel. I'm gonna link it in the cards and also down in the description if you haven't seen it already. I often copy things that I see in books. To increase psychic ability, this is also from Moon Spells. My own business, also from Moon Spells. Hot food powder, vanishing powder. Now here, this is a very nice part of my grimoire. Actually, before this was not separated, it was together with the ancestor work, spirit work section. One of the two, I don't remember now. But then I got so many different recipes that I decided to create one divider exclusively for that. So here I have like a vegan version of the fubá cake, which is a corn flour cake. Very traditional in Brazilian cuisine. This is something that I make as an offering every now and then. And then apple cake. Bread, homemade bread. You can see me making this recipe in one of the vlogs. I think it is the vlog in which I talk about the breakup I had some months ago, and that I also went to the catacombs of Paris. I make this recipe in that vlog. Tomato soup. This tomato soup is so good. You bake the tomatoes with garlic. It is really amazing. It is super simple, like simple ingredients. Tomato, garlic, garlic, onion, carrot, salt, and olive oil. And there you go. This is crazy good. It is very flavorful. Orange cake, coconut cake with, what is it called? Abacaxi? The word escaped me now. Pineapple. So coconut cake with pineapple. Basic dough, basic cake, basic vanilla cake. And this section of the grimoire is always growing. I really like making cakes. Usually I make them vegan, but the last time I did try to use eggs. It didn't work well because I've been making vegan cakes for years and years and years. So it didn't go very well, but I saved the recipe either way. Now over here in the core section of the grimoire, I have some instructions on like grounding, centering, entering the alpha brainwave state. I'm gonna hide this one a little bit because here I talk about meditation, but it is my personal way of doing it and the internet doesn't need to know. So here we have a part about spirits. The Spirit Feast is a ritual that I got from the book Consorting with Spirits by Jason Miller. It's been also reviewed over here on the channel. I'm gonna link it up in the cards and down in the description if you haven't seen it already. This is a very interesting ritual to follow. And like after this page here, I have some like diary entries of experiences that I've had doing spirit work. And I'm not gonna show that, I'm not gonna share that part with the internet. Here I have some plastic thingies that contain brochures from the day I went to visit like the tourism office of the town that I lived in before. Because like in the video in which I talk how to be a folk witch in a different country, something like that, I'm gonna also link it up in the cards and down in the description. I talk about the importance of getting to know your area, getting to know the history, the geography, the fauna and flora of your location. And one of the tips that I give is to go to the tourism office to get to know about the history, get to know about the area a little bit better. So these parts I'm gonna skip because it's personal information. Over here we have a section about oils and I have some recipes here. So there's sun energy, Uranus energy, love me to death, self-love, banishing. Yeah, all my ideas for oils, I just write them down and put them here. Now, there's a little section of my grimoire called Exu Pombagira, which is a part dedicated to my spiritual team. This is a section of my grimoire that I'm not gonna show because there's a lot of personal information concerning my ancestry and my family line, and also just experiences that I've had with them. It's stuff that is really personal to me, so I'm not gonna show. And there's also a list of the things, like for food offerings, I have a list of the things that my entities like and what they dislike, so this is very useful to keep. If you have been working with ancestors, any kind of spirit, it is nice to ask them once you make an offering, ask them if they like it, okay? And they will tell you. Only by doing that you can discover little things, like for example, my Maria Padilha, she doesn't like garlic. My Zé Pilintra, he doesn't like cinnamon and he doesn't like chocolate. My Tata Mulambo, she doesn't like manioc, which is something that I would think she would like, but she doesn't. And how do I discover all of this? By asking the spirits. So that's a good thing to keep. A list of foods and seasonings and whatnot, and you ask your spiritual team if they like it or not. I have a very good way of communicating with spirits. If you can't hear them, I have this tutorial on my Patreon page. It is really useful. It is a technique that I still use to this very day, and it has never let me down. So over here, I have a section dedicated to ancestors. This is where I keep a lot of information about my known ancestors, direct family tree and family line. And Over here, I have written like why. Why connect with ancestors? What's the importance of it? Why should I do it? And here I have a little list of books that communicate with me personally. Like there's some classics such as Honoring Your Ancestors by Mallory Vaudoise. There's Badass Ancestors by Patty Wigington. But there are also some other books that are more particular to me as a Brazilian person who descends from a lot of mixed family lines, indigenous people, enslaved people. So Casa Grande Senzala, Defeito de Cor, Comidas dos Nativos do Novo Mundo, A Escravidão no Brasil. So ancestor work is something very personal, and each individual will find their specific little path, you know? So the things that are here, they are not one size fits all, okay? I have a long list of books here that refer to colonization, slavery, indigenous peoples in Brazil. There's a lot of history. Here I have a list of foods that are classic or traditional in Brazilian culture. Here we have a reconnection ritual. This is a ritual that I took from the book Honoring Your Ancestors by Mallory Vaudoise. This was the first thing I did when I started ancestor work, and it is a ritual that I would recommend you do. Then from this page onwards, there are sensitive information with like names of my family members. There are documents, pictures. So from this page onwards, I'm not gonna show because it is super personal. Over here, there's a little section about plants. This is not something that I have developed a lot. There's only one page. But this talks about a plant. This is the scientific name, Peperomia pellucida. It is very helpful for clairvoyance. It's a plant that I don't currently have because it is more common in Brazil, but I have the information written down here if I ever come in contact with that plant. Here there is a section about protection and another one about divination. The section about protection I'm not gonna show. Yeah. And this is the section about divination. This is also something that I will keep private because there are some notes about readings that I've done for myself. There's stuff about like automatic writing when I've tried it. Also tea leaf reading when I've tried it. But those methods, they weren't really for me, I find. Then I just stopped, you know? Also in the back of this section is where I keep blank paper with the holes in it. So when I need some blank paper for some other section of the grimoire, I just come back here and I grab some. So this is it for my grimoire. Let me know in the comments what you think about this organization method that I have going here. I think that binders are so much better than notebooks because like you can just take out a page. Let's say I need to have this information nearby. I just take out this page and there we go. I have it beside me while I'm performing a ritual or something. So binders are so much better. And also if I want to add in more pages, it's equally easy. I just open it up here and I put the pages in. So my recommendation for you, if you want to start a grimoire, is to have a binder. You can decorate it as much or as little as you want. Make it yours, but the most important thing is that it is useful and practical for you and for your practice. So that was it for my grimoire setup. I hope that this could give you some inspiration and also like the reassurance that you don't need to have a fancy looking, something extraordinary and super expensive in order to have your spells and your practice and everything that you're doing written down in one place and organized, okay? You don't need to. You can if you want, of course. Why not if it makes you happy, right? But you don't need to. You don't need to. You can go to the supermarket, get yourself a binder, blank paper, blank printing paper, a punch hole thingy, and there you go. You're all set. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, practice makes perfect. So let's get witching. Bye bye.